What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Two Lost Office Hours. We are going to get started in just a second. I'm going to make sure that we are live on Instagram. Boom. There it is. Today, I remind myself because the Instagram comments don't flow through and I can't see them. So I got to look at them separately, actually on Instagram. I sometimes forget to do this. Boom. Let me see. Get to the stream, but we definitely have a great session today. We have Dan from Feature FM to talk to you about Feature FM and explore a lot of the things that you didn't even know Feature FM can do. So we're going to jump into that in just a second. Dan, normally with these office hour session, I like to hear from the guest a win from the past week. Now, it doesn't have to be a crazy big win. It could be a personal win. It could be a professional win. But what is something that happened in the past week that you're like, glad I got that done?
Um, I think actually the past week was pretty exciting because it's the big Black Friday year-end deal and year-end event. So I think for us, we were able to get out a pretty nice year-end Feature FM discount to celebrate Black Friday, and looking at it happening through the rest of the season.
Nice. So it's cyber. So the deal's still going. What is the deal at Feature? We might as well promote that right now. What is the deal?
Yeah, deal's still going. Basically, for all artist plans, you get half off your entire next year if you choose an annual plan. So the idea is that artists are, now thinking about how they want to set themselves up for the next year. So when you're thinking about your marketing tech and the tools that you want to use, you can take advantage of half off for literally an entire year.
Awesome. 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 All right. Looks like we got quite a few people in here. Universal King, as always, appreciate you tapping in. Kasik Ortiz, appreciate you. Bora Tez says, just watch your interview with Kanigra. Yeah. So I did an interview with Kanigra. She's not a music artist, but there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn from all successful independent creators because you're all trying to do something similar in the sense of building community, monetizing a fan base. So whether you act or, write jokes or you do music or produce. A lot of you guys are trying to do the same thing. So you can borrow some of the best practices from people that are in other fields if they're independent creators as well. So thank you for checking out that because this is anyway. Not going to go down that path today. We're here to talk about Feature FM. Now I know you guys have probably seen Feature FM around, and you probably don't know all of its capabilities, and that's why we set up this conversation with Dan today. Dan has a presentation prepared. He's actually going to make my job very easy in this next 30, 40 minutes. So Dan, let's see if we can get this. Nobody's ever come on here with a presentation, so I want to make sure that we can share our screen. Do you have a present button on your side?
I do have a present button, so I think I can present.
Boom.
Yeah, I mean, to start off, honestly, I know you said you don't want to go down that route talking about independent creators all learning from each other, but I think that is exactly what we're here for, what you're here for. I think the artists that we serve, the independent music artists, can all learn from each other. And I think the reason that companies like ours exist, and Two Lost and Feature FM, is to help power this new generation of independent artists who are just going about building their own careers and their own teams and really doing things in new ways.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? So just going back, I know I didn't want to keep talking about Kanigra, but Kanigra is amazing. She built a YouTube empire. She's gotten so big that she just purchased 80 acres of land and is building her own studio. So
Wow.
while I'm in Hollywood right now, so the Two Lost office is based in Hollywood. We have a Hollywood office, a New York office. Hollywood is struggling right now. Hollywood is struggling to figure out like the new economics with streaming. Streaming has impacted Hollywood in a similar way to how streaming has impacted music. There's a lot of similarities. So to see, somebody as an independent creator, say, okay, well, I don't even need to come to Hollywood. I'm going to build a studio on 80 acres of land in the middle of Arkansas. So it's amazing what people are doing in different spaces in music, and in comedy and in filmmaking. But Dan, feel free to take this away so we can, share some more tools that they can leverage.
Sounds great. So yeah, I'm going to share pretty much my whole screen because I have a few different things to hop back and forth between. So if everybody can kind of see my screen, let me know.
Boom, there it is.
Perfect. Great. So yeah, so the idea today is, I'm Dan. I'm the CCO of Feature FM. I have been with the company ever since we launched our very first product nearly 10 years ago. And throughout that time, we've really built lots and lots of relationships with artists, with music marketers, with labels, with distribution companies. And we've essentially learned a lot about the needs of the artist and the needs of the market. I myself, I'm a hobbyist musician, so I give a lot of credit to all of our customers and everybody that we serve who are, really the professional musicians and really putting your all into it. I never personally tried to go professionally, but definitely have a love for it, and write a lot and have a big passion for it. But it's a really interesting time in the music space, and we talked about the obvious debate about streaming royalties and artists not getting paid enough through streaming. But I think from what we see, the way to look at it is even if Spotify, for example, paid out 100% of their revenue to songwriters, each individual songwriter's revenue, it wouldn't be enough even if they paid out 100%. So
Yeah.
what we kind of look at today is the artist's opportunity to go about building their own connection with their fans, right? And to really look at yourself as a business where your streaming revenue is a piece of the business. And what's really interesting is you look at artists like like the Russell, and even like Russ, and even Connor Price, and these are artists that are independent, and they have these kind of new and interesting ways to engage their fans and engage their community. And when they own 100% of their rights, the streaming revenue can actually become quite significant. But then they also look at what are just other avenues that I can manage my fan base, that I can connect with my fans and have different opportunities for them to actually buy music directly from me, or to buy exclusive access. And you really want to look at all of the different revenue streams. And I think we see these opportunities today because the ability to reach your fans, while it seems daunting, is more opportune than ever. And I think for where we sit, Feature FM, our mission, it's really to help. At the simplest level, we help connect your fans to all of the aspects of your business as an artist. And that can be anything today, because as an artist you really do more than ever before. So it's not just streaming and touring and merch, which are obviously core, but you're selling products and fostering communities and creating content, and the lines between kind of artist creator, business, and traditional creator, it's all really increasingly blurred, because just the access to all of these things is greater than it's ever been before.
Yeah. There was a thing you said before when you started this. I didn't want to stop you, but you mentioned that you make music as a hobby, didn't pursue it professionally. I think that a lot of people think that at these tech companies, oh, it's tech people, it's business people. There's a lot of people that are passionate about music at these tech companies. At a lot of them. I can't say all of them, of course. Some are techie and don't really understand the music space. But even here at Two Lost, I think there's a lot of people here that are either artists and producers themselves, or manage artists and producers. So if you think about a tech company, there are some people that are very passionate about music. And I know within Feature FM, the same thing. There's people that are really passionate about music. It's not just about tech folks and wanting to make money.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Like, I've performed, I've recorded, but like I said, I never got to the point that I said, okay, I'm going to pursue it professionally. But even at our company, we have people who run and manage their own record labels. So we're very much entrenched in, the business itself, and, really have, I think, a good understanding of how the business runs. And we kind of put all of that into the tools that we build, which are essentially supposed to be marketing technology tools that help support the careers and support the growth of the independent artists that use them.
Yeah, I think that it just goes along with just the cloud of skepticism that just stays hovering above the music industry. It's like, oh, when they hear tech company, they think, oh, kind of like evil tech. All they care about is money. All they care about is money. But again, I think a lot of music folks have gone into tech because they want to try to find solutions that can help support independent artists and help build their business. So my bad. carry on.
Yeah, no. I think that's super helpful context, and I think that that's exactly how we look at it. Like, ideally, at the end of the day, what we want to be for the artist is a revenue center and not a cost center, right? Like,
Mhm.
our real mission is how do our tools actually help artists make more money and build their career, and that we're not just supposed to be like an expense on the artist's balance sheet, but something that actually delivers value in a way that we're connecting fans to the areas that artists are actually seeing real value and real growth.
Yep.
So so yeah, so I mean, a little bit about the company. We are one of the leaders in music marketing technology. We have an existing, really amazing integration with Two Lost already, where I know you guys are leveraging our technology to automatically create pre-saves and smart links for your artists. So kind of through our sort of network and integrations and artists that use us directly, we powered marketing campaigns just last year for nearly 500,000 artists. We've reached 1 billion fans, and have about 3 million links that we have actually created. And what that means is that the way that we sort of focus on the products that we build are kind of done in a few different ways. So, like I said, our core mission is really to help connect fans to, all of the aspects of your business. So we're doing that through different sorts of smart links and landing pages, through actually collecting your fan base, knowing who they are, being able to contact them, having music focused ads that are, help you kind of reach new audiences and even retarget people that have engaged before, and measuring your success, everything through your analytics and insights, and essentially connecting that to places like Meta ads and TikTok ads and all of your ad retargeting programs. And I'm going to skip ahead to some real demos very shortly, but the idea, as I said before, is that as artists, you're doing more than ever before. So when you look at kind of everything that you do as an artist, the idea is to create an easy landing page that engages your fans, whether it's for an upcoming release, music that is already released, if you want to run a contest or some sort of gated unlock, promote your tour. If you have a podcast, being able to easily share your podcast with your audience, or even just creating kind of like traditional, short links that go pretty much anywhere you want. And the artist bio link is sort of something that ties that all together. So no matter what you need to sort of promote as an artist, the idea is you can easily create these landing pages, and along the way, collect fan contact info. So through all of your fans that are now engaging with these landing pages, we want to make it easy to then collect your fan contact info, know who your fans are, know what streaming services they use, know if they're very active, know if they haven't been active in a long time. So now you can actually communicate with your fans based off of all of these different behaviors and attributes, and of course, analyze your fan behaviors across all your landing pages, across your links, across emails that you're sending to them. So essentially, grow to help know what's working, what's not working, and be able to leverage that.
Nice.
So let's get into, that's kind of the brief overview of what is Feature FM. But now I just kind of wanted to get into what are some of the best practices when using Feature FM, and maybe what are some tips and tricks that you can use that you didn't necessarily know about when using Feature FM. So the first one is just kind of being able to get into the different link types. So this is actually my demo account. You can see that there's a lot of just sort of test artists in here that are created. But the idea is that this is sort of what the traditional label view would be when you go into Feature FM. So you kind of see that you can organize your work by different artists, for example. If you have just single artist account, then it's going to look something more like this, where you're just inside of one individual artist account. Now, the first thing I'm going to start with is just the various link types, right? So the idea is that whenever you want to promote something new, you create a new link and you sort of decide what it is that you're promoting. So you can see all the different link types that you can choose from here. And I think one of the key ones to really point out is the bio link. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that we have this bio link, but the idea is that for all of these sort of individual landing pages that you want to promote, so whether it's like pre-saves or smart links or different sorts of landing pages that you want to have, contests, tour dates, all of this stuff can be tied together in a link in bio, something that looks like this, that you can organize by sections. and actually have everything be interconnected. So what we see a lot people refer to as kind of like a link turducket, right? We see somebody like using a link tree that goes to a feature FM link that maybe goes to some other link, and the idea is that all of these different the reason that you use these different products is that they should all be interconnected under one platform. So the reason that we have this on a link in bio and it connects to everything that you do here is so that everything is interconnected. That way all of your analytics kind of stay in one place, and when you want to know how you're performing as an artist, then you can simply go into your artist analytics and actually view all of your stats, all of your data across all of your links in one place. And you can actually see, like, are most of my fans coming from Instagram? Are they coming from an email that I sent? Are they coming from Facebook? Are they coming from YouTube? So when using this the right way, and you're kind of using all the different links across, all of these different platforms, and using the link in bio, you get one view of everything going on. So you really know, which services are popular, what countries do my fans come from, what cities, which releases or specific links performed well.
Yeah, I see that. I mean, I see that a lot. People using several different things. And so that way the data is all over the place. So having it here in one spot is super helpful.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I think that, like, through everything that we do, the real mission is, actually, we keep saying this and it's a big trend today, but actually knowing who your fan base and being able to own your fans, because, you want to have that control. And, you need to exist on all of the platforms. Like, like, obviously your music's on Spotify and Apple Music and all the streaming services. You're on all the social platforms. And these are platforms that are important to be on. But what you want to think about is not really finding a way to not be 100% reliant on those platforms to own your audience. When you take control over your audience, and these are just examples of how we have our audience dashboard, all of the landing pages have methods in which you can collect email addresses and collect contact info. So if a fan pre-saves, you get their contact info, they can just enter their email address. If they enter a contest, if they go to your bio link. So, like, through all of these ways, ultimately you build your fan base. You can see who uses Spotify, who uses YouTube, who uses Apple Music, who are my top fans, who are recent fans that are slipping away. So we kind of have these pre-built segments. And what it means is that now, you own the direct relationship with your fans. So, like, today, you might want them to go stream your music on Spotify, but tomorrow you might want them to go purchase an exclusive vinyl from your D2C store, or you might want them to go watch your latest YouTube video or join a new Discord server that you're launching. So the only way to really have this control is to actually have it, right? Is to actually collect the fan contact info. So when you use, a platform like this, it actually stores all of your fan contact info, and you have the ability to segment it and connect it to, your MailChimp or your Active Campaign, or send certain emails and notifications directly through Feature FM.
So you can segregate the email list. There's a comment on Instagram. He said, "I wish I could segregate the email list." Said he asked months ago. So you don't segregate. So would you segregate it within once you export it to MailChimp? You would segregate it there?
Yeah, there's kind of two ways, right? Like, we have fan segments directly in Feature FM itself, or you can export it as well. So you can export your audience here. So if you go to any segment, you can export your audience here and you can upload it to the platforms, or you can simply sync it to MailChimp or Active Campaign directly. And when you sync it to these, we'll send it with metadata as well. So, like, you can segment it however you want once it hits MailChimp. But the idea is we're helping to kind of, like, collect the fan base. And today we have kind of V1 of actual fan notifications that we're sending. And the fan notifications are really based around the release. And I'll give you an example. I hope that answered the question around fan segmentation.
So if I wanted to segment my audience, say, okay, for some reason I just wanted to send this message out to Spotify users. So I know which one of my fans use Spotify. does MailChimp now get that info, or how would that work?
Yeah, so we send it with the metadata. So if you're, if you're syncing to MailChimp or you're exporting it, you have that metadata. So you can segment it, for example, when you're using MailChimp, you can use it as an attribute there and essentially say, okay, I only want to send an email out to people that use Spotify. The other thing you can do is on your ad platforms, for example. So like when you go to your landing pages, one of the best practices that I was also going to go over is ensuring that you're using ultimately all of like your retargeting pixels, setting up the Facebook conversions API, because now you can go to Facebook and say, all right, I want to target ads only to people who use Spotify, or only people who use Apple Music, or only people who use a certain link. So it's always best practice to at least send the data there, and then you can go and use it however you want later.
Got you. TT asks, are any of the alerts sent out via push notifications?
No, so not push notifications. We are looking at some point in 2025 to be adding more like mobile and SMS notifications, and really kind of enhancing what you see here with the audience dashboard. So, it goes back to that, it goes back to what we believe is the most important thing, which is being able to manage your fan base, contact them. So this is really what we're focusing as a company today. What we have happening is, I'm going to get back to that later, is the email notifications. So the email notifications, and I believe I had an example that was up here. I can actually just show you here then. So what we have today is essentially this capability. So when you're creating a pre-save, we have the fan notifications feature. So when you turn this on, what it means is that on release day, all of the fans who pre-saved, and also I'll get in, fans who signed up for your future save, which delivers all future releases to your fans, are going to get an email on release day automatically that reminds them to go listen to the music. And the button here will be whichever service they use. So if they pre-saved on Apple, it'll say listen on Apple. If they pre-saved on Deezer, it'll say listen on Deezer. So this is kind of where we are today in terms of kind of a greater messaging platform for if you want to send like ad hoc emails, if you want to send different triggered emails or notifications. The best recommendation is to take the audience that you're building in Feature FM and sync it to one of those platforms. But you'll see over time we're going to have more and more of those capabilities to kind of do that directly with Feature FM.
Gotcha.
Exactly. The next thing that I kind of wanted to go over was sort of our newest product release that's been rolled out to more people, which is now the Future Save. So the Future Save is it gives your fans the ability to essentially opt in once and get all of your future releases every time you release new music. So basically over time with each new release, you don't need to start from zero and say, hey, pre-save this release, and then the next release, hey, go pre-save this release, and kind of starting from zero each time. What it means is that you have a release and a fan opts in and says, I want to get all of your future releases. So the next time you have a release, if 1,000 people opted into that last time, you start with 1,000. So you don't even have to worry about it. Everybody that opted into that is going to get all your future releases, and they're going to get the email notifications every time you release new music.
Nice.
Yeah, this was definitely something I think that has been, it was definitely requested for a while. What's interesting about, I think, the way that we did the Future Save is first, it's available on 6 of our 8 pre-save platforms. So it's Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Deezer, Amazon, and Audio Mac. They all have the Forever Save. The other 2, I think there were technical limitations.
And I would imagine, and I would imagine that you have the info of everybody that done the future saves, right?
Oh yeah. So you get that info as well. So it's all saved in your audience tab. It might not be here. Yeah, future save fans. So everybody gets saved to your future save fans. In my demo account, it's only me and the company who pre-saved my pretend music. But in general, yeah, they'll all show up here.
Because to me, that would be a pretty strong indication that these folks are ready to spend some money. If they want every release going from now until whenever you stop releasing music, they're probably a super fan and want to come to a show or might want to buy some merch. So I think that would be a
Mhm.
great way to segment your audience if you have a lot of people that have selected that option.
Yeah, exactly. I think that, it definitely indicates a very loyal fan.
Nice.
I'll show you an example, by the way. So if I get over to, this example, so let's say I want to pre-save on Spotify. I just want to go over some of the options that you see here. So first, you see that you can pre-save all future releases. The fan has the option to toggle it on or off. I can also add the music to a playlist, so I can do an existing playlist, or I can do a new playlist, whatever I kind of want to do. I'll be able to add it there. And you see here something called also follow. So, this is also part of the best practices whenever you set up a pre-save is to uh, always use what we call the multiple follow. We support it across, I think, like 5 or 6 different services where basically anybody who pre-saves will also give you an automatic artist follow. And you can add up to 2 other assets that you want followed. So it can be a playlist, 2 playlists, it can be a user. So if if you have your own playlist strategy also, and you want people to follow your playlist, this is a great way to just, put that on autopilot, make sure that you get that action in addition to the pre-save. So we kind of look at it as it's more than just a pre-save. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. I would suggest all artists also be curating a playlist or two, or
Yeah,
more, but definitely have at least one playlist. Um, you know, Obviously sprinkle in a lot of your music, but maybe some of your other music tastes as well. I think that's a pretty good strategy, and to be able to put it in the pre-save option here too is awesome.
yeah, exactly. And then, on top of everything, of course, there's then, sharing your email address and signing up to the email list. And this is how you actually collect those email addresses.
Nice.
And then the last thing you'll see when I hit complete, it's going to take me somewhere. So we call this like the post pre-save destination. So you can make it go anywhere you want. So I chose to take us to the artist Spotify uh, artist profile, but you can go to, if you're on tour, you can go buy tickets. Like here's a good example. If I
Nice.
pre-save this one and I complete, it's going to take me straight to their tour page. So now I can say, all right, now, oh, wow, I actually want to see them. They're coming to my city.
That's real cool.
A few other things, few other tips and tricks, like beyond just kind of going to a service, there's these sort of engagement features. So like, let's say you're using a product like Community or like even Layla, where you might have a phone number, you can choose text me and it'll just open up an SMS text directly on your device. Like, so if I click this on mobile, it's going to just open up my messages to send you a message directly to your number. And now you can build subscribers that way. Again, we'll have kind of more of the SMS capabilities coming, but for now, this is like a really amazing way to take advantage of building that subscriber list also.
Good stuff.
You brought up playlisting. This is actually something that was on my list. This is something that I think a good amount of artists know you can do this, but I just want to show you an example here. So, if I were to click Spotify, so like let's say you have a playlist, let's say you're on a playlist, whether you own it or not, let's say you own a playlist and you put your music on there. If you want your fans to click and automatically start playing your music from inside the playlist, you can see that when I click the Spotify button here, it actually takes me directly to the song right in Spotify. And it's actually usually auto playing. So I don't know why I didn't autoplay that time. It usually is, but I guess if your music's inside the playlist, you can see that it doesn't just take me to the track in the album; it takes me to the track in this actual playlist.
Mm.
And there's kind of a trick of how to do that. I can share it with everybody after. Um, Let me get over to it. Here we go. So there's a little trick of how to do it. We have a help center article that explains how to do it. It's a little bit technical with the URL, but all you really do is you take your song from Spotify and you basically just like delete everything after this question mark, and you replace it with the playlist that your song lives in.
Mm.
So there's basically a way to do that. All the instructions are here. You can see at the end it says like context is the Spotify playlist, and then once you do that, you're good to go. Then when you click it, it takes you directly to the song right inside the playlist.
Nice. So that way you can kind of dictate like what the experience of what they hear next if you send them into your playlist.
Exactly.
Nice.
Exactly. So now it's auto playing. There we go. Maybe because I had it open already, it just took me there. But yeah, this is a great way, and this was also on my list of some things I wanted to go over, which is the playlist deep link here. A couple other things and best practices. I would say went a little bit not in order, but if we're talking about every time you set up a pre-save, what you want to do. I already went over some of these things. Let me just find the. Here it is. So yeah, we have a pre-save best practices checklist. So first we have 8 pre-save stores. I think it's the most. We're adding another one actually pretty soon. That should be coming out as an announcement very soon. So include all the pre-save stores. Your music's everywhere. So are your fans. We have something called the local release pre-save, and I'm pretty sure this is pretty unique to us. And I'll show you how the local release pre-save works and what the purpose is. But basically, when your pre-saves convert. So first, like we were really like the first platform to come out with a pre-save that automatically converts to a smart link. And the sort of standard way to do it was like you pick a time, right? You say 12 a.m. in New York, I want my link to convert. The problem is that your music comes out at midnight in every time zone. So if you just do midnight in New York, what it means is that for people in London where the music's not out yet, if they go to your landing page and click to Spotify, they're going to go to a broken page. But for people in I'm not going to use LA, it comes out at the same time, but for people in, let's say, Hawaii, right? People who are behind us. For them, they, it's, they are, the music comes out for them. Oh, sorry, I think I did it backwards. The people in London, the music comes out first, so they're going to have a broken page. Even though that they should be able to go stream the music, but it's still going to say pre-save before they can actually go stream the music. The people who are behind us are going to go to the broken page because it's not out for them yet, right? So what the local release does is it releases your music at the local time in every time zone. So basically, when it's out in London, everybody can go play it in London, but everybody in New York can still pre-save until midnight.
Mm.
So sorry for the convoluted sort of explanation. I mixed up the time zones, but
Yeah.
I think you can get the idea that this is powerful because again, like our mission is to help connect fans to your music as quickly as possible. And if you're doing a pre-save that just converts at the same time, then every release day is kind of not a great experience for your fans who might be all over the world because it's going to be like 24 hours of either going to a broken page or not being able to go stream the music yet. This solves for that.
Nice.
So this solves for that. I went over the Spotify multiple follow. We actually have it on a bunch of different platforms now. The post pre-save destinations, the fan notifications, the email collection widget, which I went over. You can collect your emails anywhere, and just make sure you always have your retargeting pixels added. That way, you're getting everything to your ad platforms. And the new one, I guess, this is from before. The new one is to activate future save. You always want to make sure future save is on.
Now, so all the best practices are on your website. So if you're not taking notes, which I'm sure only a few of you are doing, the best practices are on the website, so they can get it there, right?
Exactly. So yeah, you see I'm kind of referring to our blog or our help center. So we have a lot of this information out there already. I can kind of share a recap maybe with you, Dame, after if people are interested to just kind of get a summary of where some of these resources are.
Is there any because there's probably a lot of artists that just kind of need their hand held, and that's not a bad thing, but like they need their hand held through kind of like an efficient and good like release strategy, right? Is there just support just from step one? If they have a new artist, never put out music before, is there kind of just some guidance like step one, do this, step two, do
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, we have that. So, this is what we try to do the best that we can to kind of help guide artists, through the process of like once you sign up, like what should you do next? This is, there's a lot you can do. So we have it set up to our onboarding guide. So every artist gets, when you sign up, you get an email that kind of gives you all the steps of our onboarding guide. So this guides you through like literally step 1, step 2. So each step is here, and it kind of gives you, the order in which you should do things, all the way through to like now you have a link, go share it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just follow these steps, like if you sign up and just literally follow these steps, you're in a very good place.
Nice. Now I saw that there was like contesting features
Yeah.
available. Is that something that you can talk about?
Yeah, this is something that I kind of wanted to go over. So the idea of our contest, you still see my screen?
Mm. Yep.
Okay, perfect. I've been sharing and resharing.
Because contests, I mean,
Mhm.
they used to be, I mean, they still are pretty effective, but
Mhm.
I think a lot of the algorithms on social media sites have kind of like, it's harder to run successful contests today than it was, 8 years ago,
Yeah,
9 years ago. So
yeah.
I'm interested in how it works here with Feature FM.
Yeah, so we kind of have two sides to the contest. We have like a traditional contest, which I'll go over here, and then we just have like a very simple kind of like unlock page, which is like you just want one action to maybe unlock a piece of content or a discount code. I'll start with kind of the bigger contest. It's kind of it's a bit more of a bigger uh, a bigger strategy to run a full contest. But basically, the contest starts with how do you enter. So step 1 is you can enter in 3 ways. You can either ask your fan to connect with Spotify, connect with email, or connect with Facebook. This is just to simply like enter the contest. The way our contests are structured is to reward your fans with entries based on actions that they take. So
Mm,
step 1 is enter the contest. They get 10 entries. We do it in a way so that like your fans might have a different number of entries, but it's still random uh, in terms of who wins. So fans with more entries have a greater chance. But the reason we did it that way is because if you have a contest where you just say whoever gets the most points wins, it sort of discourages some people away who are like, well, I'm not going to take the time to get the most points, so it's not even worth it. You want everyone to feel like they
mm.
at least have some chance of winning.
Yeah.
So first, you connect with Spotify. I'm just going to enter that way because I'm already entered. And you can see that now I have 10 entries. And you can have a number of different actions that you want your fans to take, and you can customize how many entries you want each action. So I just set them all pretty much the same. You can say go to my website, subscribe to my YouTube, add my music to your library. There's more actions than this, but this is just what I did for the demo.
Mm-hmm.
You can ask them to follow you, and then they can get more entries by sharing the contest with their networks. So it's pretty simple. You set it up, you customize it, you enter what you want the prizes to be, and then when it's all said and done, we have a way for you to actually choose your winners. So we have I think this one ended, so I think I'll be able to do it. So you go over to draw winners, and when you draw your winners, we have a whole
You won.
area. Yep,
Looks like
I'm the winner.
nice. Now this
So
help
this
is
is
there
you.
is there an example of somebody that has used this feature and what was the prize? Just kind of give people more insight into kind of how people have set this up successfully to incentivize people to take these actions.
Yeah. So actually, I don't have that specifically prepared, but we do have also on our blog an example of an artist who did it.
Nice.
We have the case. I need to find the actual case study. Here she is, but yeah, I don't have the case study exactly here in terms of like what her results were, but Raylan was an artist working with AWOL. They were one of the first to really, I think, take our contest and put it out there. And yeah, I mean, she did it as a giveaway. You can win like a special sort of like surprise box from her. And yeah, she was able to really leverage this into a lot of her fans being engaged. I would say that, our tools, depending on which tools, for all different levels of artists. I would say, like, depending on where you are in your journey,
Yeah.
Contests are usually, going to work when you have at least somewhat of, of a built community, a built fan base, and then they're really engaged. That's really where you're going to see the best results.
Yeah. No, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot when putting together a
Mhm.
contest in terms of how to incentivize folks. Because if you don't have that much of a fan base and say you offer some cash, for example, you might get a lot of people entering just because they want the cash and not really going to become long-term fans of the music. So
Yeah,
you just got to be careful with how you set up contests and how you incentivize folks to participate.
totally. Yeah, you want people who are there because they're a fan of your art and a fan of your music. That's for sure.
Yep.
Cool. So I think we went through this. We went through the contests. I kind of went through the account settings. I was talking a bit about the different things that you can do. Maybe there's a few things to point out, but if I were to just go into my account settings, for example, this is where you sort of, control all of your default settings for like how you want all your landing pages to behave. You can set up subdomains. Custom domains is something really important recently. So instead of using ffm.to, which is like our standard company domain, which you can see here, you can use, actually, I think if what is your domain? Tulos has a domain. I should have been prepared with that one. You guys have a good domain and good branding already on your landing pages. But the idea is that you can add your own custom domain and then use that across all of your landing pages. We also have custom stores. So if you want to create a store, like if you have your own D2C store, your own merch store, and you want to just like use your own custom logo for your store, you can do all that as well. So that way on your landing pages, you'll always have a link to go to your own store. Like you can see on this link in bio, it uses
Mhm.
his store to go to his merch store.
Nice.
Marketing channels and activities. I mean, this is something that is also just to kind of point out as a best practice. So, like, let's say, I want to share let's say I'm ready to share my link with the world. If I hit get link, you'll see that it asks me where I'm sharing this link. Now, if you are sharing this across different channels, if you're paying versus doing it organically, um, so let's say I grab a link for YouTube. What it means is that in my analytics, I can now see all the traffic that came only from the YouTube link. If
Mhm.
if I'm putting it on my website, I can see all of the activity that came only from my website. So marketing channels, it's kind of an advanced usability, but if you use it, it's really helpful to see how all of your data and all of your fans engage with you across different platforms. You can also separate it by paid versus organic, so you can see the difference between just like posting organically versus if you're buying ads. And then we have something called direct links, which you can even do also per channel. So a direct link, let's say I'm sharing on Instagram and I want to link only to Spotify. You can see that at the end of the link, it adds /Spotify, and then it's going to take me directly to the Spotify. This was a pre-save, so actually this took me directly to the pre-save, but I probably should have done just a regular smart link for that one, which would be
And some people watching this might think that some of these details don't matter. And they may not matter now because you don't have a big fan base, but it's so important to kind of learn and have this be a part of the foundation. So as you grow and you get more data, because the more data you acquire, the more useful it's going to be for you in terms of your decision making and figuring out, what you should do, maybe what type of music to make or where you should go on tour. So it's so important that you learn it now and set the foundation for the growth
Yep.
that you anticipate having in the years to come.
Yeah, it's a great point. There's one more thing I want to point out. Like, there's so much you can do, and a lot of things that like we have, really expert professional marketers at major enterprises that are kind of in there doing all the details. But like, there's so much you can do, but it's very overwhelming to be like, oh my God, I have to do everything and do everything perfectly. So
Yeah.
like, don't worry about that. Like I'm kind of presenting things that are, that are sort of best practice, that are things that can really help. But like, do what is best for you and what you're comfortable with at any given time. And you're always going to get better and kind of learn more things. So if something's like, oh my God, there's a huge platform and I don't know how to use every single thing in it, all you got to do is get started using it in like the simplest way. And then once you're using it, you kind of learn, what's going to make this better, what's going to make that better. It's hard, you know. It's like we want to build this in a way so that the technology scales with, with the artists, and that the artists are able to focus on, creating the music, focus on the art, and ultimately being able to to focus on really what they're passionate about there, and not need to worry so much about like really all the technical details.
Yeah. TT says she's in the middle of an analytics series right now. So this data and analytics talk is music to my ears. Yeah. I mean, I think marketing, hopefully it's fun to folks. And hopefully there's somebody on your team that finds this stuff really interesting and maybe even just learns a little bit every single day. There's a lot of resources on the Feature FM platform. Do you guys have like videos and things as well to walk
Yeah,
people?
we have videos. Admittedly, we need to, I think, add some more. Yeah, we definitely have videos. Like they're also on our YouTube channel. We actually on our YouTube channel we have like hour-long sessions that we've gone into, like creating all of your custom conversions on Facebook and like doing kind of all those details, which is definitely important. But we're going to be working on adding some more just like how-to videos.
Got you. Now I'm going to ask this question again because when you have the presentation style, it's going to be hard for us to repurpose that content. So I want to be able to make sure that this question gets answered while we're here so that we can cut it and repost it for Instagram, etc. Because most people believe or think currently in their mind the Feature FM is really just kind of a pre-save link. Can you talk through some of the other features that are available to
Mhm.
artists beyond just the pre-save link?
Yeah, I'll start with kind of an explanation about where we see artists today, right? So essentially, uh, we see artists as doing more than you've ever done before. So the line between kind of artist, business, creator, entrepreneur, is all those lines are really blurred. So the idea is that for anything that you need to promote around your business as an artist, whether it's music, touring, joining a community, going to Discord, whatever it is, we help you connect fans to those aspects as quickly as possible. So, that's through creating a number of different one of the landing pages. If you need to promote your release, if you need to promote a tour, if you want to promote merch, if you want to run a contest, it's very easy to kind of create these landing pages through all of the fan engagement. You collect all the fan email addresses, fan contact info, where you can sort and segment them. And the idea there is that it gives you ownership over your audience. So now you have the ability to contact your fans and push to them directly whatever you are dropping, whatever's most important to you at any given time. All of the performance data analytics is also collected, tracked, sent to third-party retargeting platforms that you want to connect. But this is really the idea: is that the artists are doing everything, doing so much more, and we want to be here for everything that you do.
Awesome. So again, if you have any last questions for Dan around Feature FM, please feel free to put them in the comments. So whether you're on X, Twitch, YouTube, LinkedIn, put them in the comments, and we'll answer another question or two before we get out of here. But I think we probably should use this time. Remind them again what the Black Friday, or I guess Cyber Monday
Yeah.
sale is.
Yeah, Cyber Monday now. I mean, we launched it about a week before Black Friday, 50% off all artist annual plans. So as you're kind of thinking about your marketing strategies for the next year, if you sign up and start your trial now, or just start a subscription now, the code is BlackF24, and that will give you 50% off for an entire year on all annual plans. If you want to go monthly, we do also have a 25% off your first 3 months coupon code. When you sign up to Feature FM and you go to like the billing page, you'll see it listed there. So if I didn't get the coupon code exactly right, you'll see it right when you get in there.
Awesome. Looks like Impulse says, when does the sale end?
December 31st. So we're running it all the way to the end of the year.
Nice. Black December. There it is.
The whole the season of giving.
There it is. And then he also said, is there a timeline for those the YouTube how-to videos?
I would say into early next year. So it's things that we need to be working on. We're kind of putting together our sort of content, our content calendar, and the resources. So, hopefully we can get those up, by the end of the month to early next year.
Nice. Cool. Well, this has been super helpful. Dan, appreciate your time today and talking to us about Feature FM. Hopefully, people that watch this have a better understanding of all of the different options and services, tools on the Feature FM platform. Is more than just pre-save links. The data that you can extract and house and segment right within the the Feature FM platform is awesome. That's why we have a great relationship with Feature FM. Any last comments, Dan?
No, I hope everybody has, a great end of the year, and, is really thinking hard about some of your plans and strategies for next year, and always looking forward to more music. My personal favorite thing about working in Feature FM is all the amazing music I personally get to discover that I think otherwise I might not have come across. So, thank you to all of the artists for that.
Awesome. Well, again, this has been another great session of Two Lost Office Hours. We will be back next Monday. I think we have about 3 more Mondays before we go away for the holidays as well. We'll be taking a 2-week break, and then we'll be kicking off 2025 with a bang. Got some great guests already lined up. But Dan, thank you once again. We really appreciate it. Until next time.
Thank you so much.
Peace.